How you doing? If you're into welding as much as I am, and you probably like I am, like to watch different YouTube videos, so I just want to share a little experience that I had recently. I've been watching some videos about welding rigs or welding trucks that people across pond have, and it was very interesting because I found the video there where a chap was showing his own welding rig, and there was an umbrella that was showing that, and he was explaining that you need that umbrella to hide away from the sun so you can have a little shade. And it was very funny to me because umbrella like this would never work in Scotland. So I decided to make a little video and share with you guys the setup we have for doing mobile work, and hopefully maybe this will influence or give you some sort of ideas if you trying to put together your own welding rig or your own welding setup.
The weapon of choice is Volkswagen Crafter with a long wheelbase. Long wheelbase allows us to have a roof rack where we can put pieces about 6-7 meters long, and it never been an issue to go on any site as far as long wheelbase concerned, or as far as going through the mud or all sorts of stuff that you can meet on the site. Naturally, no mobile welding van or welding truck can be without a genset, and this particular one has a capacity to do DC, high frequency DC TiG, and also just standard DC stick welding. On the other hand, we can see there is a 22 amp sockets for 110 volts and also for 240 volts power setup. In addition, you can run it. You can run a welder from a wall by plugging just the cable into it. Obviously, the welder, the genset itself, is actually about 100 kilos in weight, and for situation where you only need one person on the site, and to allow this person to load van easily, what we have a setup where there is a little winch which normally used for taking small boats in. The winch was fitted onto the van, and the little aluminum ramp was produced. So this way you can actually take genset on your own into the van very easily. Originally, this ramp and the whole loading setup was designed for a different welding truck altogether, but it works on this welding one as well fairly good. So as I mentioned, there is a winch which is permanently mounted onto the welder, and all you need to do is just unclip it on the bottom and basically connect it to your welding truck to the point, and then use battery power tool to simply hoist it into the van, and that just simplifies the whole procedure. You don't have to lift anything heavy. From the top we have a first aid kit, eye washing station, and burns kit. And inside of the van, basically you see the layout. On the right hand side there is some welding rods, links, and all sorts of stuff stored like this, and the various different equipment stored in different shelves. You probably noticed there will be a fuel can, there is a fire extinguisher, there is about there is 4 of them in the van at all times, and basically all sorts of equipment that used on different jobs when you do mobile welding work, or you know, whatever the work you need to get done. On this side there is cables, as you can see, and some boxes for unibore cutters and stuff like this. So boxes like this hold the consumables for TIG, for MIG tips, and for clips for doing your pipes for argon lines, or for your burning gear if you need to take it. Obviously little diamond files, all sorts of things in there. Heavy items on the bottom like hammers and chisels, and then you have your screwdrivers, your spanners, you have your pliers and sorts of tools of that nature. Naturally, that small generator cannot do all jobs that we need to do, especially if it relates to aluminum welding work, because aluminum takes so much power. So occasionally we need to just tow big genset, or even a 3-phase generator that we can use to power up MIG welder, which you can see at the moment, and this MIG welder runs specifically for aluminum. So we have 10-meter cable between power source and the wire feed, and also have 10-meter push-pull torch on it, which allows us 20-meter reach. As you can see from a one, we can reach pretty much everywhere on the boat with this setup without any problem. Those of you who ever welded aluminum with MIG know that it's a constant battle and constant problems with wire feed, because the wire is so soft, so it's always jamming or bending or making bird's nests. But you can see with such a setup, with a push-pull torch and such a long intersection cables, you can actually do welding without any problem, quite far away from your power source, and it's never really an issue. Mobile welder in Scotland does not need umbrella to shade one from the sun and protecting from wind or rain. It will never really help, because winds are quite strong when the weather is bad. So if there is any sign of a bad weather coming, it's a lot easier just to take everything back into the van, and this setup works perfect for us. So after respraying the van, another additional feature that we got ourselves the roof rack. As I mentioned before, it can take quite long pieces on top of the roof rack, up to 7 meters easily, and as you can see, the roof rack made in 3 different sections, so we can load and offload the roof rack with a forklift as well. So the other feature that we have fit on the roof rack is actual light, and as you can see, it's used as a working light, and occasionally you can have some fun when you're driving. Here how's normal lights look in the van. So basically headlights on, and I'm going to be switching between full beam on and off, just to give you some idea how it looks. So on and off, that's a full beam on and off again. So you can see when you're driving, you can actually see a lot better than what it is on the video, but you can really see the difference, not really that drastic or dramatic. However, when you switch over to working light, it goes boom. Well, there is nothing else to say, isn't it? It's just, you can clearly see the difference. It feels almost like lights non-existent when you turn it off. And it's great fun when you're driving on the empty roads, especially at nights if you have some sort of vegetation growing. You can see into the fields. If anything runs, any animals or deer or anything like this, you can easily see what's going on around you. Okay guys, hopefully this video was interesting for you. If you liked it, check out other videos on this channel, and maybe you'll find some other interesting things in there. Thanks for watching.